Hello again. Once more, welcome back to the cellar. Welcome back to Leopard Street. Now, if you've been watching this channel for a while, why wouldn't you? You may have seen this little beauty, Hornby J52. Not an ancient one, but an older one. With a little mark on the top because there's a blown decoder where the magic smoke escaped. Well, in this one, we're having a little look at another Hornby locomotive, the new J52. Stick around. Let's get out of the desk. Let's have a little look. What occurred? It hurt. If I do this at the desk, you're not going to be able to see most of the box. So I'm going to do this bit here, and then we'll go over there and we'll have a little look. So first off, end of the box. This is, look at this, R30366 LNER class J52 060ST number 4225 era 3 with a 21-pin decoder and apparently HM7000 compatible. Don't use the HM7000s. There is a reason. I've said, you can get this off here. I've mentioned a few times why I don't use that decoder. It's basically, I don't use it yet, but I want to use Railcom, and it doesn't support it. So, yeah. Now this popped up on a flash deal with Rails the other day. In fact, I'm filming this now Thursday. It popped up a flash deal Wednesday, so I ordered it. It's here now. So let's have a little look. Go down here. We have a Yon box. Turned up nicely packaged. Lift off here. Oh, it's dropping away. It's dropping away. That's a nice box. I'll give Hornby their credit on this. They do. If I get the lid off it, they do package them quite nicely. We've got line drawing on there. Yeah, various bits of information about the class on the side. Introduces J13 in 1897, a development of the J14, designed by Patrick Sterling. Yeah, there we go. Anyway, foam, leaflet. What have we got on here? Class J13, J52, steam locomotive, and this is the DCC Ready version. So lubrication points, accessories. We've got some of those. How to remove the body. There, and the front screw holding the NEM pocket. 2 rear screws. Body lifts away. Reassembling. Make sure the NEM pocket is reinstalled in the correct orientation. Yes, because it's the right way up and the wrong way up. Once fitted with a HM7000 decoder, you have accurate locomotive sounds and a flickering firebox control. So that suggests we've got a flickering firebox in here, which is quite nice. Sugar Cube speaker is pre-fitted to your model. I'll look at that in a bit, because I have got a decoder. I haven't got the HM7000 though. So let's try and take the ice cube type bit out of here. What do we got? Anything else in the box? Nothing else in the box. So put the box back together, at least slightly together, out of the way. We do have some bits. Now, as is usual with these, Sam's Trains has done a really detailed review of this. And I would refer you to his video if you want to see like technical details and stuff on this, because his videos tend to be quite good. So we've got a coupling in the bag. There's no forward coupling pre-fitted, but you can fit one. There's a bunch of lamps. They look very nice. Very nice indeed. They don't work, obviously, but they look very nice. And some pipes. Look at that. How do I get him out? Out of here. Yeah. I will get him out of the box. Yeah, you're not spending the rest of your life in a box, mate. You've got a job to do. Ooh, lovely. Oh, and different blacks as well. Don't know how well that shows up, but yeah, see the level of reflectivity there. The body is a lot glossier than the roof. Yeah, it doesn't open. and also the smoke box. So I'll just carefully lift him out. Geez, that's heavy, loco. Right, put the box over here because hopefully he doesn't need to go back in there. So there we have. Heavy. Heavier than the original one. Don't have the scales to hand, so let's bodge something as a way of seeing which is the heavier. Here we go. Which J52 is the heaviest? Place your bets. I suspect I've got a pretty good idea. Well, that didn't work. Never mind. Okay, enough tomfoolery such as that. Yeah. Very nice. Lovely finish, lovely details. We now will go to the desk because I'll put him under a close-up camera and we'll have a little look. And then I'm going to try him out on DC. I shall be back in a minute. Okay, here we are at the desk. The Hornby J52. Very, very nice little locomotive. And we've got, you can see in here, we've got a lot of little detailing in between the frames. Oh, it's just plastic, but it's a representation of the cylinders. The cab, you can see in there, is detailed, nicely painted up. Doors fitted, doors closed. Nice little coal load, coal rails. Lots and lots of detail. These, grief. Yeah, these rails on the top, they're separately fitted. Very, very fine. I thought they were molded. I could bring the old one in. You can see the old one had separate ones as well, but they're a lot chunkier. Livery. This is obviously the unlined version, so it's plainer, but very, very well applied, very well shaded. The original, again, comparison is there. That's really crisp. There's builder's plates, painted pipe details, lots and lots of separate bits, lots of lamp irons, because obviously we've got lots of lamps. I'm really quite impressed. I did consider this model when it first came out. I decided not to, partially on cost grounds, because full price this is fairly expensive. Speaking of which, what did I pay for this? I paid the grand total of £99.50, which, yeah, as I think it's 47% off. So I just thought, yeah, at that price, I'm having one. They've got metal reversing rods. This is an example of what Hornby are now doing with models. Really, really good. There's lots of detail on the underside as well. Yeah, bottom of the firebox. All the brake rigging is pre-fitted. Thankfully, the era of traction tyres is well and truly gone. At least I hope so. All-wheel pickup, which is quite nice. Bottom gear's exposed. Yeah, swings and roundabouts, that. Bottom gear exposed means it's extremely easy to add a dab of grease. Yeah. It's also extremely easy to pick up dirt. We've got NEM pockets on the back. Oh, kinematic one on the back as well. Ooh. Seems to go one way a bit more easily than it goes the other. Have a look at that. It may just need a little bit of grease on it. I expect that'll work quite nicely. The front one is as well, but with a much cruder mechanism. It's just a little plastic bracket. One thing that is slightly annoying, to get at the decoder socket, you need to take the front bit out. Brake rigging is sat right on top of it. I mean, I see that. I mean, that's where the screw's got to be. That is slightly irritating. The bit on the bottom saying 12 volts. Lovely clean wheels. Yeah. Sanding pipes. I say Sam did a really good close-up on this, but I'm hoping you can sort of see bits of this. Visually, very impressed. Oh, a nice brake wheel at the back, handbrake wheel in the cab. Look at that, nicely red painted, and you can't really see much into the cab, but there's a lot of detail in there. that is really, I mean, there's the seat for the driver. Yeah, really, really, really nice. Very pleased with that. Glazing front and back. Glazing on the rear, it's got the bars. They're raised up slightly, but yeah, that's there. Right, well, that's a little bit of a look. I need to go set some track up, and we'll see how well she works. Back to the layout. Yeah, here we are. This is some of the steel easy track from Bachmann. Yeah, I've just set up on a bit of the layout. As you can see, they've got the brick walls behind. So, this is the Bachmann controller on DC. First off, does she work and will she go in the right direction? There's a 50-50 chance. Turning up nice and gently. Keep going. Oop. No, she's moving in the right direction. I just got the switch from the wrong way. Decently slow. Let's try her again. And bear in mind she's cogged a little. Now this is right out of the box as well, so got her going. I can slow her down a little bit. Reverse. Doesn't want to go. Yeah, there we go. It's just, yeah, it's a little bit more. There we go. Now this is rubbish steel track as well, but she's going quite nicely, I think. Bring her back in. Can't do a great deal in terms of speed at the moment because this track it goes a little bit out of camera shot, but only just. Oh, there is definitely a flickery firebox effect as well. I take you out of here to show this, unfortunately. So if we have a little look, see into the cab. Lift up. Set the direction correctly. A nudge, there you can see. Firebox. Pleased with that. Right, what I need to do now is get the digital chip in her. Get the layout set up so that she can actually rumble round because I'm going to run her in after I've chipped her. And we'll do that. So let's go and have a little look at fitting a decoder. So back on the desk, we have Mr. Locomotive. We have the decoder, a 36-557 Alpha from Bachmann, 21-pin DCC Loco decoder with brake button function. Dual mode DC DCC with back EMF, powered functionality, 10 of those, Railcom. I do want for all models equipped with DC or coreless motors. So 2-digit, 4-digit, it's all the basic stuff. These are in effect Zemo decoders. So let's have a little look. So to take this off, I've got the instructions here. I still don't have a servicing cradle. Very remiss of me. I need to find something I can use. Let's see what I've got here. I've got some tissue I think I used with the Chamoisière the other day. So what I need to do first, there are apparently 3 screws. So there's 2 at the back which I can see and I can get at. And then there's 1 at the front which holds on the front thing, which as I said is, unfortunately, got the brake rigging in the way. So I'll have to see how easily I can remove the brake rigging. Kniff. I don't want to break anything doing this. Yeah. Everything around here is covered in cat hair. She's not even been on the desk. Well, maybe she has. So I need to shift. This is where I'm hoping this isn't glued in. I don't think it is. There's lots of very fine parts on. There we are. That bit came out then. There is a lot of very, very fine parts on here that I do not want to damage. There we go. Now can I take the other side out? Mr. Hornby, if you're watching, if I may suggest for the future, And I realise you're probably not watching, because why would you be? A really simple addition to this lovely little model, which would make this process much, much easier. Put the brake rigging in the accessories bag. Just that. I don't mind the idea you've got to remove it to do this, but I would prefer if it wasn't fitted in the first place, and then you could fit it yourself if necessary. Right, that should be enough. So first off, see if I've got a suitable size screwdriver. This one may be a little bit big. That one is a little bit big. I should use one that is a little bit smaller, which also doesn't fit. Okay, so I shall use this one, which does fit. And that screw was extremely loose. Now, I'm not complaining because it means I can take the thing out, but it may... we shall have a look in a sec. It should be a shouldered screw. I think that's done that. Can I take that out? Not done yet. Thought I'd undone that enough, but I haven't. Move this brake rigging slightly out of the way. That feels like it's loose now. Ain't gonna come off. Yeah, one of these. There we are. One of these lovely little design features where everything's in the way of everything else. Now that is a shouldered bolt, so that should be able to tighten up nicely, which I am very pleased with. So come over here, and these little screws at the back are different. And I don't think any of the Phillips screwdrivers I've got are going to do it, but eventually this flat bladed one will. That one, that's that one. Do need to get some more of these. Right, now, and apparently the body should just lift clear at this point. We shall find out. Oh, yeah, it's coming out very gently. And we'll have another little look at the body. So that is a metal running plate. This is heavy. So I think the body's plastic. Feels plastic. The metal feels cold. The bodywork doesn't. Could be wrong. It's a fair bit of weight there. Right, put that down. Have a little look at this here. As is nice, you can now see more of the detail they've fitted under here. It's just a representation of the running gear. Very simple, but yeah. We have the flickery LED, a little spring for the kinematic mechanism, which, yeah, I suspect there's a little bit of flash on that. That might need a little bit of grease, but no, fair enough. Right, let's take this out, or try to. Gently lever this up. This is the first locomotive I have got with a 21-pin socket. Most of mine are old enough. They are 8-pin sockets. Did it say this had a speaker fitted? Oh, it has. Yeah, there's a speaker. There's a speaker underneath the decoder socket. Now that's useful. I mean, I haven't got a sound decoder for this. There we go. It's the blanking plate. Rather nice. Oh, that's how they work. See, I always thought that'd go in that way around, but apparently not. It's that way. That's nice. So you've got motors, TL LEDs, yeah, and the speakers underneath. So if you do fit a sound decoder, there's a speaker. Now, obviously, as I said, this is aimed at HM7000. Now that, I mean, the beauty is it'll only go on one way, so it's got to be that way around. Because yeah, I mean, there is literally, with the 21 pin, there is literally only one way this will go on. So obviously you've got various pads you can solder other things to. Has this got some instructions with it? Or is it literally just this bit of card? It is literally just that piece of card. Okay, fair enough. It's that piece of card. So that goes on there. I'm just looking because what I want to make sure is it doesn't short against anything underneath it, which I don't think it will do. Now it's clear. The gap is small, but there is a gap, which is all that really matters. So in theory, that is my little friend chipped. So as usual, before I put the bodywork back on, I'm going to test that. So I'm going to get set up for that. I'll catch you in a sec. Yeah, so here we are up on the layout. This is something interesting. I thought this was a Zimo decoder under a Bachmann brand. GMRI says it's a ESU Lock Pilot 5. Okay, well, I'm not complaining. So what I'm going to do is basic. So what I'm going to do is tell this to read. See the little juddering. So we've got that. So I've set her up for that. Motor, I'm just going to read that as well. She goes away. This will tell me initial settings. I'm not changing anything just yet, apart from the address. The only thing I'm going to have a little look at is the speed control and the speed tables. Back inside say a little bit. Speed table. Let's have a little look. Read this. So as usual, we've got a bit of a curve coming up. I'll show this in a sec. Basically what this does is it gives you a lot more fine control at low speed. It can be a tad frustrating because what you can end up with is you have to accelerate quite a bit through the speed steps before you actually start getting anywhere. But for shunting, it's actually not too bad. Yeah, sorted. Use that, write that. Writing that back in. I have got no idea what function does what, so what I'm going to do is save that, close that. Look over here. You see the green LED here. I'm in programming mode, so what I'm going to do is switch that back into main mode. So that LED should go out. It does, and I hear a little click which tells me that, so I can go throttle. What I'm going to do is see if she moves. So I have a throttle. Now the first thing I actually want to see what fires up that that little LED on the back. Light? No, apparently not light. Oh, there we are. Apparently the bell turns on the firebox light, which appears to be constant. So they've not used a flickering LED, they've used a constant LED, and it's up to the decoder to make it flicker. I don't mind. So let's have a little look. Oh, off she moves. And backwards. Go backwards. Yeah, man. There we go. Dodgy track again, I suspect. So I've told her to stop. She seems to be slowing down. What I'm going to do is quickly grab the track rubber. Yeah, she's slowing down. I'm going to give this section here just a quick clean. Yes, still looking at comments on the thing. Kelly suggested one of the Hornby yellow track cleaners. To be honest, it's probably not a bad shout. There we go. Here we come. She's going to come back into view. I'll stop her and we shall try a crawl. We'll see how we go. Here we come, coming back in the shot. I'll tell her to stop because she's got quite a good acceleration deceleration function. Push about this way a little bit more. Right, so that was speed step 1. Rather good. Cope with that. Same in reverse. Yep. Right, so I'm going to get it reassembled. I'm going to move some trains around so that she has free reign of the lower deck, and I should be back. So that's everything put back together. I have spent a bit of time clearing things around on the layout. I will be doing a proper running session video at some point. I just need to set everything up for it. So here we go. I'm going to set her off at quarter speed to start with. The layout is set for her to run round onto the outer loop. Heading forwards. Yeah, that's a good start. Now stopped. Now, of course, what would help would be setting the right loco. We should try again. Here we go. I'm actually going to go a little bit quicker. That actually, I'm going to tell her half speed. And I'm going to pick the phone up. And we're going to watch as she departs Leopard Street Station for the first time. Ooh, picking up a fair bit of speed now. Off she goes. I've just got to watch because when she's gets round onto the first bit, signal's changing. Good. I need to reset a couple of points. I can reset 1 now. She's not going over the diamond. That seems to be running quite nicely. There was a few jitters at low speed, basically caused by dirty track. She's coming around here. Reset the last of the points. Whee! Here we go through Underworld. And I'm going to take her off again. That is entirely my fault. Some of the points, these points here, did not change. This is why she stopped when she got that far, because she hit those points which had sort of moved and sort of hadn't. So, take 2. 2 bottles into the shower. Yeah, I tried that once. I washed and it went. Here we go. I can see some changes coming to the acceleration and deceleration on this, because she's not up to full speed yet, which is a curious choice of default settings, should we say. Reset the point at the bottom of the hill. So again, we'll have that little green signal go red as she goes past. Ding, there we go. I'm happy with that. I've still not got the other ones working. Yeah. I've got some bits coming. I'm going to have a little play with the relays. I think I've found what the problem is. Yeah, I'm not 100%, but I think I've found what the problem is. And we shall see. That's for another day. This one is J52 running. So she's come around there. Come around here. A little look. She's a little rattle over some points, which I might need to keep an eye on. And there's your problem. She's derailed again. Okay. She's derailing on large radius points. I shall give her another go. Now, the fact she clattered a lot going round there over Leopard Junction is interesting. But, we shall try again. slower this time. Now what happened is there's a point there that she derailed coming over, which is set correctly. I'm just going to change it and change it back a few times. This one here on the layout. Rattle that a few times. Should be all right. Right, she's slowed down a bit. I'm going to speed up slightly. And we're going to carry on. She seems to be very smooth running. If there's a problem with this, it's probably wheel back to backs, which I can adjust. It's a little bit of a pain to adjust, but I can do that. I'll just have to check. Keep in mind, this is code 75 fine scale track, not code 100. So Hornby obviously only make code 100 track, so all their stock is set up for that. Most of it handles 75 without any real issues, though. We shall see. She's approaching the junction around here. Now, I'm not going to go around and do that, mostly because I'm not going to get there in time, because it means crawling. But I'm going to keep my ears open and see if she makes the noise again. And we can have a little look under here again. As she comes around. Let's get some other bits and pieces out of the way. A lot quieter over the junction this time, which is good. And she's coming round. Coming round. And think. Derailed again. I shall investigate. One moment. Okay, back. It's not points. And it's not the loco. Anyway, you know what I said about I might to adjust the stopping distance? I told her to stop. She's going about 50% speed. I told her to stop about there. That's where she stopped. Anyway, the problem is this track join here, which I admit isn't perfect. What's happening is she's rumbling down here, and then the lead axle is derailing slightly. Only a little bit. That would explain why she made noise going over that point. She's derailing that way, only on the front axle. What that means is she's quite happy around there. There's another right-hand point further round, which she's also quite happy with. Then when she comes to a left-hand, that's dragging her off. So, yes, that's a little piece there. The problem actually is not from above. If you can sort of see it if you look from this side here. It's a little bit vertically misaligned, and it's very slightly off in the other direction. So she's got really fine wheel flanges. So she's coming along here. This rail is slightly high, and because it's a turn, she's just going slightly outwards, and the flange just overrides that. So not her fault at all, but needs pretty good track by the sound of it. So I'm going to have to sort that out. It's not going to be a huge problem. She's not going to be running down here very often. Her role is destined to be the goods yard shunter. So eventually she's going to get the KD couplings fitted. And when I've got a goods yard, well, until I've got a goods yard, there's not a lot of point. Anyway, she's now on the lower circuit. So I'm going to reset that for running in. I'm going to set her off, and we'll be back when that has finished. Yeah, we're partway through running in. Yeah, forward running in okay. You'll notice when she comes around, she's now on the inside track. The inner track is used in the anti-clockwise direction. I did try running her anti-clockwise on the outer track, and yeah, I mean, I don't normally use that track in that orientation. She got as far as the point work under there and just went nope and came off. There have been a couple of problems. It's all track related. Well, I say it's all track related. She derailed there and just sat there spinning her wheels. She has derailed on a set of points once. I know what the problem is. She's got really, really fine wheel flanges. And if we look at this, this is an old wagon. I mean, all right, they're not Lima pizza cutters, but they're decent sized wheel flanges. More modern stock. What have I got? That. They're a bit finer, but they're still there. J52 has got really fine wheel flanges. I did check the back-to-backs. They're fine. She runs. I mean, as you can see, she's running nicely. She doesn't like badly laid track, specifically vertical gradients. I mean, you can see that. If I get that lined up, there is a slight hump there. It's only slight. I've got rid of most of it. There is similar there. We stay zoomed in as she's coming around again, and you sort of focus on this bit. You should be able to see. You sort of see the hump there a little bit more as she comes. You should be able to see as she comes around here. Yeah. What she needs, she hasn't got. A lot of the other Hornby 060s, or the older ones, seem to have, is some sort of springing or movement on one of the axles. Usually just one. What's happening here is this is fairly rigid because she's got bearings and she runs quite smoothly. She's coming along. I don't really have anything I can demonstrate. Yeah, I've set a couple of these pieces of crap track up. She's coming along like that. There's a hump, and she's coming along, and she's up in the air, and at some point she drops down and carries on. If that's on a curve, she can come along, crunch, and she's off the track on the side. So, yeah, fine wheel flanges. They look really good, but if you've got slightly ropey track, possibly having problems. Not blaming the loco for that. It is firmly the track. On a reasonably flat or reasonably level piece of track, she's had no problems whatsoever. So, yeah, I'll finish letting her run in, and we'll carry on having a look. All right, so running in is complete. There were a few issues. I think, however, it's safe to say they are all layout related and non-loco related. She's got quite fine wheel flanges. The only places it's a problem, other locos have problems as well. So what we're going to do now, I've set up a little mixed goods train. We're going to hook her up to that, and we're going to see how she goes. I have also changed the acceleration and braking delays, so they should be a little bit better. Let's give her a slight nudge because she's obviously on a little bit of dirty track there. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is do a little bit of track cleaning. And I've also got a cat under my feet, but there we go. We'll have a look at her in a minute because she's a pest. You're a pest. Right, try that again. She's now on the desk. You're in the way. Oop. Loco is now coming backwards. Yes, hello, stripy cat. Yeah. A flipping kitten. Not put too fine a point on it, but there we go. Here she comes, and here we gone. Looks to have coupled up fine. So what we're going to do is I'm going to set the route for departure, at which point the signal will change to green, and we're going to head off. And then I'm going to run around for a little bit. So, have a little running session. So enough of me wittering. Off we go. Yeah. The fat controller has entered the building. Yeah, it's an electric mouse. Deal with it. Now, when we get round to there, where I had some derailment issues, I'm going to slow down. But here we are, with just a rake of wagons that doesn't normally get to be out to play. So we're going to rumble around here. The signal changing again. She'll jump up in a sec. Probably. You going to go up? There we go. Cat into ceiling. I get no respect. Right, here we go. So I'm going to approaching the bit where the track is a bit dodgy, so I'm going to slow down. Now, I don't know whether she's going to derail or what at this point, but I am going to watch. The problem is just ahead of that signal. I think she's made it, but we will see. A bit more speed. That juddering is a track pickup issue. I'm going to see whether she's down here. Let's go back to normal. Is she railed or derailed? She's derailed. So, yeah. Hit the emergency stop. I'm going to come in here. And this is what I've been saying. It's just this front axle just comes off just slightly. And off we go again. So, yeah. Even at very, very low speed, I have a problem with that piece of track. That said, she runs quite nicely elsewhere. And all of the wagons have made it. So, anyway, let's watch her run around for a bit. Hmm? You coming down? I can see that paw. I can. How are you getting down? Pest. Perils of cats. Yeah, meow to you too. So this one doesn't bits in her. This one doesn't so much meow as it squeaks. Meow? You going to say something? Or are you just going to be a pest? Hmm? Cat, you're in the way again. So you're going on the desk. Yeah, you go down there. Because now you can clear off, can't you? Come on, shoo. Get up, you're in the way. Move. Honestly. I get go. Shoo. I get no respect. Here we go. Train is now turning round. And again, something has derailed, so I'm going to have to go and have a look at that. Be one of the wagons, it's not the loco. Yeah, back in a mo. Yeah, not loco. Problem is those two Barnsley main colliery wagons from Bachmann. The coupling hooks are a bit short, so sometimes they bind on corners. Lomac is behaving surprisingly well. Okay then, Hornby J52. What do we think? Yeah, I mean she's handled a fair length train. I mean, what's that? Yes, 3, 6, 9, 12 vehicles. Some which got weights in. She's handled it around my layout, which has got it's about a 1 in 50 incline along the back coming up. Gets a little bit steeper. It's about 1 in 30. Sort of going up round there due to what can only be referred to as incompetence. And she's run around fine. I've had a few problems with the wagons, but yeah, she's been fine. That little bit of track over there, I'm going to have to do something about, but that's not a problem with the loco. So what do I think? I'm impressed. She looks really nice. She is a slightly hesitant runner on dirty track. I think the problem is she's got a very rigid chassis. If I look at the older one, she's fairly rigid as well. But the rear axle on the older one, if you can see that, is slightly sprung. This one it's not. Now what this means is she's forever teetering on 2 axles. That's what's caused the derailment issues, although, as I say, I'm blaming my track for that because, well, Frankly, larger locos can handle it at low speed, but at higher speed they go flying off the track as well, which is why I don't run them very fast very often. So yeah, I'm going to say that's as much my fault as anything else. But when she's running, very, very smooth, plenty of power, not particularly noisy. Yeah, all in all, happy. I mean, it's the old, yay, she's got sprung buffers, loads of detail. I mean, I'm going to have to put some of the lamps and things on her eventually. She's destined to be a shunting engine in what will eventually be the goods yard there, but that's for another day. Meanwhile, here we go. Yes, anyway, the fairy controller is back. You may have noticed a slight glitch at the end of running as she came in. I told her to stop and she carried on. JMRI has lost communication with the layout. Yeah. I had really rather hoped the new Wi-Fi would sort all that sort of problem out, but if anything, it's happening even more than it did before, which is not particularly enjoyable. I may have to. I can see. Actually, I think what I probably have to do is move the base station from there, so it's not got a load of track above it. I might have to find it a new home. Anyway, that's for another day. But overall, yeah, Hornby J52, very pleased. Very nice model, very well running, beautifully built. I can't see anything wrong with the way she's been put together. Printing is fantastic. I don't need another one. I've got 2 J52s now. I can't see ever needing 3. But if I needed another one, I would have no qualms at all about getting one. She really is fantastic. So, that's been Leopard Street. That's been another video. Hopefully you've enjoyed that. A little bit of running towards the end there. And of all the wagons I've got, the Lomac was the least trouble. Didn't come off once. Yeah. Speaking of things that were trouble. Hey, Smudge. Yes. Anyway. I'll see you all in the next one. Whether my little furry interloper here will feature. Oi! Go. Say hello. Yeah, not going to. Whether she'll feature or not depends on what the temperature's like. Have a good weekend, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Thank you very much, and goodbye.